Hi, sixth graders. We're still on our second unit, which is order of operations unit. Our title for this lesson is order of operations, and you'll want to write PEMDAS, these letters on the top as well, and you will understand exactly what they mean if you don't know what they mean yet by the time the video is over. Our learning target is being able to evaluate expressions with the order of operations. All right, so PEMDAS. This is something that you would want to write into your notebook, either that way or a different way, as long as you know what the letters go with which operations. So a numerical expression is an expression with numbers and operations. This is important to know because our next lesson we'll talk about algebraic expressions, which is a little bit different. So 3 plus 2, 4 plus 6, 5 times 4 divided by 2. Those are all numerical expressions. Order of operations is the order in which we solve expressions. And it's important to follow a certain order so that if two people are solving a problem and there's multiple operations that you need to solve, it's important so that each person is solving it the same way instead of me getting one answer and someone else getting another answer and then who's correct, because if there's not a rule, if there's not an order to follow, then we don't know which way to go or which way to solve. So this is basically the order. Math operations that group expressions together. These are different things that we can use, or symbols, that's the word I was looking for, symbols that also let us know certain operations. So parentheses, group expressions, so do brackets, and so do braces. So you might see those. A line, just like I used up over here, a horizontal line means a fraction, or 2/3 would mean 2 divided by 3. And then the square root, when we talk about square roots, like the square root of 4 is how we would say that. All right, so another way that you can write the order of operations this way, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, is one way that we remember the order of the operations, but we always start, if there's anything in parentheses, we do those first. Then we look for exponents. Then we look for multiplication and division and just solve that left to right. And then we look for addition and subtraction and solve that left to right. So we evaluate the expressions inside grouping symbols, then we do the powers, then we do multiplication and division, then we do addition and subtraction. All right, so let's do some together. If we have the expression 5 plus 12 minus 3, so if we have our PEMDAS, we first ask ourselves, do we have any parentheses? Yes, we have parentheses, so we're going to solve what's in the parentheses. And I'm going to rewrite every single step so that it stays nice and neat. And actually, I'm going to write, I'm not going to write the equal sign yet, so I'm going to rewrite it. 5 plus, and then I know 12 minus 3 is 9, so I have 5 plus 9. My justification for that step would be parentheses. 5 plus 9. Now I only have one operation left, so then I just do that operation because that's my only option right now. So 5 plus 9 equals 13, so my answer is 13. And then the justification for that second step is addition. Okay, for my next one, 8 minus 3 times 2 plus 7. So I ask myself, do I have any parentheses? No. Do I have any exponents? No. Do I have multiplication? Yes. And I go right into here, and I'm going to solve those first before anything. I know it looks like we want to do, 8 minus 3 is 5, and then multiply it times 2, and then add 7, but we have to stick with our order. So I'm going to rewrite it. 8 minus 6, because 3 times 2 is 6, plus 7. So then that step was my multiplication. And now I go and I ask myself again, any more multiplication? No. Any more division? No. I have addition and subtraction. Remember it said addition and subtraction from left to right. So addition and subtraction are kind of the same step. We just go, it's kind of like we're reading a book. We start from the left, go to the right. So 8 minus 6 is 2. Then I add 7. So 2 plus 7 equals 9. And then my answer is going to be 9. All right, you try these two and then come back and check your answers. So 39 divided by 9 plus 4. I start with the parentheses. So 39 divided by 13. And then I'm left with my only step. So 39 divided by 13 is 3. So my answer is 3. Here I have no parentheses and I have no exponents. I'm going to start with my division. I don't have multiplication. So 10 plus 4 minus 6. Now I add and subtract from left to right. So 10 plus 4 is 14 minus 6 is 8. All right, here's some more examples. So 5 times 3 squared minus 7. This 3 squared, this squared goes just with the 3. Those are together. I don't have a parenthesis, so let's write this again. So I do my exponent first. 5 times 3 squared, remember, is 3 times 3, which is 9, minus 7. Now I do my multiplication first, so 45 minus 7, and we get 38. Try these ones on your own, and then come back and check. So 3 times 10 to the 4th. So I'm going to do my exponent first, 10 to the 4th, 3 times. So 10 times, or 10 to any exponent tells us how many zeros. So I know that 10 to the 4th, because it's 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So it's basically 100 times 100, which we just would do 1 times 1 is 1, and then keep all the zeros. So it's 3 times 10,000. And then 3 times 1 is 3. Keep my zeros. So I have 30,000. 5 minus 1 cubed divided by 4. So here I do my parenthesis first, which is 5 minus 1. So 4 cubed divided by 4. So see how this 5 minus 1 is together. So I keep that together. I do that first. Then my exponent is attached on after. As opposed to this, where my exponent goes directly with the 10 because it's not excluded from anything else with a parenthesis. So 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4. And then we divide it by 4. So I'm going to do my exponent first. So 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. And then I divide it by 4, which I just did 16 times 4 to get 64. And now if I'm dividing it by 4, then I would get 16. 14 plus 3 times 7 minus 2. So I do my parentheses first. 14 plus 3. And I'm just going to keep this parenthesis here right now, even though I'm going to solve it. 7 minus 2 is 5. If I have a number outside of a parenthesis, like I do right here, then that means multiplication. So a number outside of a parenthesis means multiplication. And multiplication comes before my addition. So 14 plus 15, because 3 times 5 is 15, equals 29. And then here I can see right away I have parentheses. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm not going to change anything. And I'm going to keep it nice and neat and organized so I don't miss any step. So 6 plus 8 divided by 2 plus 2, I'm going to even keep my parenthesis, times 2. Now remember, it's multiplication and division from left to right. So I'm going to do my 8 divided by 2 and my 2 times 2, because remember the 2 outside of a parenthesis is multiplication. So 6 plus 4 plus 4. Now I add from left to right. So 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 4 is 14. And then our last problem. Juan goes to the school book fair where paperback books are $1.50 and hardcover books are $3. So we have $1.50 and $3. Juan buys 5 paperback and 2 hardcover books. Write a numerical expression to find out how much he paid and then solve the expression. So I know that, so this is where order of operations have to come into play, because I need to know which numbers need to be multiplied by each other based on how much he bought. So he bought 5 paperback books, which are $1.50. So I can write it like this: 5 times $1.50, plus he also bought 2 hardcover books, which are $3. So 2 times $3. And I'm just going to keep it like this in money form so I remember that it's money. Okay? And then I know 5 times $1.50. So if we go back to multiplying decimals, $1.50 times 5. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2. And then my decimal is going to go in 2 because it only goes in 2. So $7.50. So 5 times $1.50 is $7.50. Plus 2 times $3, which we know is $6. So $7.50 plus $6 is going to be $13.50. So he spent that much money. If we were to multiply, 5 times $3 or something like that, then he would have been charged wrong and paid wrong. So it matters how you write it and the order that you solve it in. Okay, notebook in your backpack, bring to school, and we'll see you tomorrow.